And here they all are. So, Johnny, I'm going to turn this over to you right now and have you introduce our two special guests today.
All right. Well, this is going to be fun. This is excellent. So let me do just the briefest spiritual bio before I actually read their impressive natural bio. And this is my opinion. You know, I look through the grid of the 7 mountains. I'm even wearing orange today because it's Mountain of Family. And Mountain of Family has to do with everything with nutrition as well, health in every kind of way. So I personally consider both Dr. Josh Axe and Dr. Jordan Rubin as apostles of the Mountain of Family. And this is not a title they carry around, nor is it, you know, convenient to carry that kind of title around. But they both have a huge call and a huge assignment, and they've had huge success. You could say apostolic success, but they've also, part I know about from having interacted with them for the last several years, is apostolic trials. So they've had apostolic apostle fire as well. And so they're really tested, and they have a really big assignment from the Lord. We're all excited. I say we're all excited about the Maha, Make American Healthy Again. And for them, they are so established in that thinking, they would just consider it, probably both of them, too small. It's make the world healthy. That's their thinking process is they do what they do, is trying to figure ways to release health to the nations in every kind of way. So having said that, I'm going to start with Dr. Josh Axe and his bio. He is a doctor of natural science, a doctor of chiropractic and clinical nutritionist who has dedicated his career to helping people heal through the power of food, herbs, and lifestyle medicine. He holds a Master of Science in Leadership from Johns Hopkins University, is widely recognized as a leading expert in personalized nutrition, functional medicine, and cellular healing. Social media presence is substantial. Both of them already have substantial platforms and access to substantial platforms, but I still think it's very important and a launching of sorts in the spirit, even for them to be with us today. He's the founder, back to Dr. Axe, is the founder of Ancient Nutrition, the Health Institute, and the Longevity Club and Clinic, pioneering new approaches in regenerative medicine and longevity. He is also a New York Times best-selling author with acclaimed books, including this very recently released Think This, Not That, which is really powerful. Wow. Eat Dirt, another one called Eat Dirt, Keto Diet, and Ancient Remedies.
Oh my goodness, Eat Dirt.
So he has his own Dr. Josh Axe show as well, a top 25 health podcast, and he interviews high-profile individuals, names you might know, Carrie Underwood, Danica Patrick, Dr. Mark Hyman, et cetera, et cetera. So beyond his professional work, Dr. Axe is deeply committed to his faith and family, something I can testify to that as well. And this is part of why I even mentioned them being apostles of the Mountain of Family. He and his wife, Dr. Chelsea Axe, live in Nashville, Tennessee with their 2 daughters. They enjoy an active lifestyle, including cycling, skiing, and swimming, and share a passion for gourmet cooking and holistic living. Now, Dr. Jordan Rubin's bio, it's shorter. Doesn't mean he's more humble than Josh. I don't even know who released these.
He might be. I don't,
I'm older and wiser.
Yeah.
He's known as America's biblical health coach. Jordan Rubin is the New York Times bestselling author of 31 books, including The Maker's Diet would be the book that he's most known for out a few years. And his latest book is the Biblio Diet. Jordan is the founder of Garden of Life, Beyond Organic and Ancient Nutrition. So those are 3 different names. With degrees in naturopathic medicine and certifications in nutrition and fitness, Jordan has served as an expert lecturer around the world. Jordan is the author of multiple patents in the areas of natural pharmaceuticals and dietary supplements, and is a leader in the regenerative farming movement. You're hearing that word regenerative. They'll explain. It's a very important word before we're going. Operating Heal the Planet Farms in Tennessee and Missouri. Jordan and his wife, Nikki, are the parents of 6 children. They're also from the Nashville area. You'll actually, for those who come to our August 8 launching of the book of Enoch, you'll hear a few minutes we'll get a few minutes from Dr. Jordan Rubin there. So anyway, welcome to both of you. And Steve,
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome. Well, let's just start with, I know that you each have an amazing testimony, and whoever's picture that was that we saw, was that you, Josh, or? Okay,
that was Jordan.
That was Jordan. And what we found out just minutes ago I found out that we have a similar history, all three of us, Josh, Jordan, and myself, and he'll show you that picture in a minute, but we were each bedridden. So, but that's all I know of your detail, Jordan. So go ahead and share that story.
Absolutely. So Steve, I just turned 50. So kind of giving you a time frame. When I was 18 years old, I was deathly ill. I thought at first I had something that was maybe a short-term digestive disturbance. I was in college, loved God, was part of a major ministry and a movement, and I had no intention of sitting out and watching life pass me by, but the symptoms got worse. And ultimately, I was diagnosed with Crohn's colitis, which at the time was very rare.
Wow.
And I had 18 other diagnosed illnesses, which caused me to be bedridden for 22 months. I was outside of being taken care of in my parents' home like an infant. I visited 69 medical experts around the world, desperate for answers, wheelchair bound. My low weight was 104 pounds, and I'm 6 feet tall. And Steve and Johnny, I think in a time where you lose everything, you lose your identity. I was kind of like the funny, gregarious guy. I was on fire for God. I thought God was going to have plans to prosper me and not to harm me, to give me a future and a hope. And instead, I was being told that I would need medication, surgery. I might not be able to have children. And twice, I literally thought I was closing my eyes for the last time. I thought I was going to die, and I wanted to be with Jesus. But I knew that if God healed me, if I could help just one person overcome disease, or better yet, avoid it, then this living hell would have all been worth it. And I want to say this to anyone who's watching, who's dealing with a life-altering condition, whether it's health, finances, or family. I can't emphasize how important Hebrews 11:1 is. And Steve, you mentioned a photograph. There's another photo that is a before and after.
Yeah,
and
let's
that
see
before
that
photo. Yep, that before photo on the left side of your screen, that was taken at my worst. And I stood up, kind of walked these 7 steps from the bedroom I was being taken care of in to the closet door, and I yelled for my mom. Now, keep in mind, this was before digital cameras. So I yelled for my mom, and she said, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I said, "Mom, you need to take my picture." She said, "Jordan, it breaks my heart to look at you. Can't we wait till you're well?" And I said, "Mom, take the picture." She said, "Why do you insist?" And with every ounce of faith I could muster, which was probably the size of a mustard seed, I said, "Mom, you need to take this picture because the world's not going to believe what God's about to do in my life."
Wow.
And
That's
Steve,
amazing.
I got to tell you, I read Hebrews 11:1. I was bedridden. I was in a situation where I was feeling very sorry for myself, as many were. I was the first name on everyone's prayer request list, the death of the party, I would say. And my parents were struggling. I felt guilty that my illness was robbing them of their finances, their hope, their life. But I knew that after I read Hebrews 11:1, that I needed to have the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And I tell people today, if you think that there's nothing you can offer God, your faith is the greatest sacrifice. And over the course of a year, I wish I could tell you I woke up and poof, I was healed. But about a year later, and similar to your story, Steve, there was that little bit of light that came through the darkness. I met a man who told me that if I followed a diet based on the Bible, I could be healed. And after 69 medical expert failures, I embarked on a biblically based diet and lifestyle that I would later call the Maker's Diet. And God took me from death to life, from mess to messenger, tragedy to triumph. And I committed with that after photo at age 21 that I was going to spend the rest of my life helping God's people be transformed in body, mind, and spirit. And that was almost 30 years ago. And I'm just as excited, Steve and Johnny, to share that message because it's needed more than ever. And I believe in order to bring heaven to earth, we have to see a level of health and healing that this world is desperate for and has yet to see in abundance. And we're really close to seeing it. And I am believing for supernatural miracles, but sometimes God uses his principles, and it's just as miraculous when he heals us that way.
So good. Yeah, and I know each of us has probably that. You got that spiritual side of that whole thing, and then there's the medical side and how we did it. And that was my story as well. Josh, let's hear your story.
Yeah, well, mine was more recent. This is about 3 years ago. The start of it was maybe a little less than that. And I was I was in great shape. I was throwing my 2-year-old daughter in the air in the pool. I was doing triathlon. I was able to do triathlons. I was doing, everything I wanted in the gym. But I'd hurt my back about 12 years before lifting weights. I herniated 2 discs in my low back. And I went and got a type of treatment called stem cell therapy, which really helped because I lived with chronic pain for at least 5+ years, major pain. Wow. And I thought, I'm going to go get stem cell one more time. And I bet if I get this done again, my pain will be 100% gone, even though it was 90% gone. Well, something went wrong when I was getting these injections done. They take it's a natural procedure, actually, and they just put your own cells back in your disc. Well, after I could just tell something didn't feel right. And then I felt worse and worse and worse. My wife and I actually had moved from Nashville to Puerto Rico. We had a plan to be there for 3 years and move back. But we were in Puerto Rico. And I, after 6 weeks, one morning I woke up and I couldn't even walk. The pain was so excruciating. I couldn't move. And we called an ambulance. They come and picked me up and brought me to get an MRI. Got the MRI. I read the report. It said I had a spinal infection, that it was in my disc. It had moved into the bone. My entire L5 vertebra was infected. And then there was an abscess by my spinal cord. I immediately had to they took me on a gurney. They put me on a private plane, flew me to Florida, where I then sat down with an infectious disease specialist who told me, he said, Josh, listen, this could kill you. Most likely scenario, though, is you're going to be permanently disabled from this. We'll likely have to fuse your spine. And he said, your best case scenario is you're going to have chronic pain the rest of your life. He said, you'll be the first person to know when bad weather passes through. And I just went from, being in really great shape to being told and here's the other thing. The one person I knew who had this, he had to have his spine fused. And for 24 hours, I was just emotionally a wreck because I thought, gosh, what, this diagnosis. And then I was just praying and God just said, you know what, have faith in me, not in your diagnosis. And I said, okay.
Wow.
Oh, we lost him. Wow. Guys, team, is it on their end and not ours?
Well, because I'm still here.
Yeah, you and I are still here.
Yes, it's on their end.
Okay.
Wow. That must be some of the warfare they're getting. They're getting
Josh and Jordan, if you can hear us, I'm going to kick you out and then come back in.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, right in the middle of the testimony. That's too bad. So go ahead. Well,
Steve, while they're gone, they're going to tell. I believe Josh has an incredible healing testimony regarding to his mom as well. And then, nor was that the last one trial Jordan had with his health, severe. And I don't know if they'll get to them as well. So they're both guys that they live in the real world, and it wasn't even just a one-time testimony. They have, revisited this reality of needing the Lord for healing. And so you're going to hear such a balanced perspective from them, because they're going to understand how you have to eat healthy and what that's about. But like Josh's last book about thinking, really, he found that when he was fighting this last battle, and I forget how many months, he couldn't walk. He was not even able to walk. That he really needed the spirit and how to think, and thinking. He needed the spirit healing. Think this and not that. 12 mind shifts to break through limiting beliefs and become who you were born to be. So it really, if anything, it like full circle made sure that he has got body, soul, spirit balance, a holistic balance process.
All right, we got you back. Do we have any idea what happened?
No. No.
Warfare.
Yeah, well, Josh, you want to pick it up roughly where you were?